There is a viewer who messaged me and shared this with me. My family still keeps up our worship properly, and we never skip a single day of offering incense. But ever since we rearranged the altar room, one problem after another has kept happening in our home. We have been spending more money than before, people in the family seem to get sick more often, and work keeps running into trouble. No matter what we do, nothing seems to go smoothly. So could it be that I rearranged the altar room in a way that was not suitable, and that is what led to all of these things? The truth is, this is a situation that can happen after renovating a house, moving things around, or reorganizing a worship space without knowing how to arrange it properly and avoid major taboos. For example, if the altar room is set up in the wrong direction or has architectural flaws, then wealth and good fortune can easily slip away. To help you avoid ending up in that situation, in today's video, I am going to share some major taboos you should avoid in the altar room. How the worship space affects a family's wealth and blessings. In a home, the worship space is the family's spiritual heart. You can think of it as the place where the purest energy gathers, acting like a center that influences both prosperity and peace in the home. It is the one place that connects everyday life with the unseen spiritual world, where the present meets the past and creates a steady foundation for the whole family. From the Feng Shui perspective, I know the worship space works like a source of life energy for the entire house. When it is quiet and respectful, the energy there stays clean, pure, and constantly flowing, helping balance the energy coming in from the main door or walkways so the home stays in harmony. But because it is the most sensitive center of the house, the worship space is also easily disturbed if it goes against the balance of the 5 elements. Even one small mistake that lets in impure energy or excessive fire energy can create cracks in the energy field of the whole home. When the energy at the center is disturbed, the first result people often see is a loss of financial luck. Work that was going smoothly may suddenly run into difficult obstacles. On top of that, it can also affect your mind, your thinking, and your family's sense of connection with one another. That is why caring for the worship space is really a way of protecting the lifeline of your family. When this space is returned to its proper peace and purity, it can become an energy shield that helps block harmful forces and nurture blessings over time. So, to avoid losing your family's wealth and blessings, what taboos should you watch out for when arranging the altar room? Now let us go through them one by one so you can see which mistakes to avoid and how to fix them properly if you have already made them. Taboos in the altar room. Number 1. Taboos about location and structure. One mistake I see many families make is placing the altar right in the center of the house. You can think of this area as the busiest part of the home, where people move around the most and energy is the most active. If the family altar is placed there, it can create harsh energy that brings unrest and makes family life feel unsettled. Another common problem is pressure from a beam above or from a staircase nearby. Many people place the altar under the stairs to save space, but in Feng Shui, this is a major taboo. The staircase carries strong moving energy with every step, while a beam above creates a feeling of invisible pressure. When the spiritual heart of the home is placed under that kind of weight, the homeowner often struggles with work, career growth, and progress. You should also watch out for direct alignment with doors and walkways. An altar needs solid support behind it and open space in front. If your altar faces the main door or sits right along a passageway, outside energy will rush straight in and scatter the spiritual energy, creating a pattern of energy loss that can make money come in and go right back out. The same goes for windows. Do not place the altar with its back against a spot with harsh sunlight or strong drafts. Too much active energy can take away the quiet balance the space needs, making it feel spiritually dry and cold. Finally, keep the worship area away from unclean energy and excessive fire energy. A bathroom holds heavy and impure energy, so if the altar faces it or backs up against it, the sacred atmosphere can be polluted, which may affect both health and finances. The kitchen carries very strong fire energy, so placing it too close to the altar can overheat the space and make people in the home more irritable and more likely to argue. You should also be careful with mirrors. Do not place a mirror facing the altar because it can reflect good energy back out, disturb the energy field, and bring unnecessary instability into the family. To correct these taboos, you can use a partition or curtain to separate the worship space from areas with strong moving energy. You can also install a flat gypsum ceiling to cover exposed beams, helping the energy flow more smoothly and gently so your family's path can become stable again. Number 2, taboos in altar arrangement and worship items. If location and structure are the foundation, then the way an altar is arranged shows the heart and values of a family most clearly. I have seen many homes with beautiful altars made from expensive wood and filled with costly offerings, yet the space still feels cluttered and lacks reverence. Once the portraits, memorial tablets, and incense bowl are placed in a messy or overlapping way, that disorder can disturb the entire energy of the worship space. And when the altar area is chaotic, your family will struggle to receive blessings and financial luck. When placing portraits of the deceased, you should also follow the rule of male on the left and female on the right. Picture it from the altar looking outward. The grandfather goes on the left, the grandmother on the right. This follows the natural order. The east on the left is where the sun rises and represents the masculine energy, while the west on the right is where the sun sets and represents the feminine energy. If the portraits are placed incorrectly, it can disrupt the balance of yin and yang and make family harmony harder to maintain. You should also place portraits of the older generation higher than those of the younger generation to preserve the proper order of worship. At the same time, the incense bowl should be kept straight and should not be moved around casually, because it is seen as the point where energy gathers and spiritual connection is centered. But ancestral tablets should not be pressed completely flat against the wall. Traditionally, people leave a small gap behind them so energy can circulate freely and not block blessings or the future path of descendants. By contrast, statues of deities or Buddhas should be placed firmly against the wall to create a stable and dignified presence. Even the material of the altar matters. Used wood is generally not recommended for an altar because, in Feng Shui, old materials may carry mixed energy and traces from a previous space or owner, so they no longer have the purity needed for a sacred family worship area. As for offerings, you should avoid fake fruit. A worship space needs living energy, while artificial items feel lifeless and can make the space seem cold and spiritually insincere. You should also avoid offering fruits with sharp thorns, such as jackfruit or durian, because thorny shapes are believed to carry harsh energy and may lead to conflict among family members. Fruits that grow too close to the ground, or fruits with bitter, spicy, or sour flavors, are also best avoided because they can symbolize hardship and bitterness from the past. So when choosing fruit, go with ones that are round, fresh, and clean, and make sure they are fully dried before placing them on the altar so water does not collect and stain the wooden surface. Number 3. Taboos involving technology and lighting. I have seen many homes place a television right below the altar or directly across from it. In the Feng Shui materials I have studied, a television belongs to the fire element and carries strong active yang energy because of its constant sound and changing images. The altar, by contrast, needs stillness so spiritual energy can gather. When these two energy sources clash, they create a disruptive pattern that scatters sacred energy, which can lead to financial loss and a gradual decline in health. Sound is one issue, but lighting can also be a double-edged sword. Many families want the altar to stand out, so they use flashing colored lights or blue bulbs. But in Feng Shui, blue light belongs to the water element, and that creates a strong water-fire conflict with the altar, bringing a dark and unsettled feeling that makes the spiritual space less stable. To fix these taboos, first, if there is a television nearby, you should install a curtain for the altar or place a partition between the television and the worship area. That creates a kind of filter that reduces sound disturbance. You should also avoid turning the volume up too high, and do not watch offensive or violent programs right below the altar if you want to preserve a basic sense of peace for your ancestors. As for lighting, warm yellow light is a better choice. It is linked to the earth element and brings a sense of stability, helping the home feel more peaceful and allowing things to go more smoothly. In the end, avoiding these taboos in the worship area is one way to protect your family's wealth and blessings over time. When the altar is placed correctly, arranged properly, and kept respectful, the energy in your home can flow more smoothly, bringing in more luck and prosperity. And if you still have questions about home layout or any other Feng Shui issue, leave them in the comments below. We will go through them together in future videos. Goodbye, and see you next time.